So this is part 2, I guess.
Guys, I'm back already with another crazy update. Now, we know there was an arrest made due to the ransom note that was a hoax and a fraud. Someone just trying to capitalize on this horrific moment and take advantage of this family, right? So who is this person that was arrested for this fake ransom note earlier today? His name is Derek Kalela. And there's some pretty... This stuff just gets deeper and deeper. Here's a photo of him. This is a still shot.
Oh, that's the one that's in the fake ransom note. The former LA County employee busted last year for theft. Now charged with trying to scam Guthrie family. This dude, he like a degenerate.
I took from one of his YouTube videos. Yes, I found his YouTube channel. He is 42 years old. This is back from 2017. He only has 2 videos posted on his YouTube channel. Both videos are him. Channel. Both videos are him playing his metal hardcore rock music. Okay. So what? Big whoop. Who cares? Also, very interesting decoration you got there. That's just a little creepy and unsettling. But
the son-in-law is in a rock band.
Anyways, some blow-up doll sitting on your chest of drawers or shelf, whatever that is. But here's the kicker. He tells police that, oh, it was just a joke. I was just texting. He texted the son-in-law, which is also the brother-in-law of Savannah Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie's daughter, the popular talk show host for the Today Show. He texted him, the son-in-law, the brother-in-law, Tommaso Cioni, and his wife, who is the actual sister of Savannah, Annie. He says, this is just a big misunderstanding. I heard about this on the news, and I didn't really mean it. I didn't really take it that serious. I was just sending that text to them to see if they'd respond and what they'd say.
How you get his number?
In my opinion, just my theory, I'm adding into the facts here, because around this time, kind of all eyes were on Tommaso Cioni as a suspect, and maybe they still are and could be. We don't know. This is where it gets crazy. He says, I just sent that text to them to see what they would say. Now let's run with that, okay? Which I don't care why you did it. It's awful, and don't do that. You don't play around. Don't do that, and you deserve some punishment. But let's run with that theory. Okay, yeah, that is why you did it. Okay. How do you even have their cell phone numbers, buddy?
Yeah.
How do you have these 2 people's cell phone numbers? And then I just can't help but notice, as I made in my first video, this is my 3rd video I've made now. I made a video last night deep diving into Tommaso Cioni's history of a passion he pursued, which is he was very, very much into this band.
Rock, yeah.
He was a part of called Life, Love, Love, Murder, something like that.
Early black.
And it's a heavy metal, rock, hardcore, electric guitar, yelling in the microphone genre of music. And a lot of the lyrics are pretty dark, which that's not surprising for that genre. I'm not trying to like get super conspiracy here, but not surprising, but it is odd. It is kind of a little strange considering what's happened. This man's only online presence on the internet, this fake ransom note guy, Derek Kalela, has a YouTube channel right here, and his only 2 videos are of him performing the same genre of music. And then you factor that in with how did he have Tommaso's cell phone number to text this to him?
Hello, black guys.
It's getting weird. It's getting weird, folks. Anyways, he has been arrested and booked. We don't know what.
So far I'm gathering the son-in-law who dropped her off, last one to see her, he had the internet child like protection police over ICAC over at his house. They have a child. So maybe the child told the grandma, hey, he doing me, daddy touching me, whatever it is. And she said something to him about it. And he wanted to get, because it don't seem like a money thing. Maybe he wanted to get rid of him or say, hey, told his bandmates, hey, you know anybody that could do this for me? Or, hey, we got this guy. He could take her. I just want her gone. But then he could get some money. I don't need money. I'm doing good. Savannah's my sister-in-law. We doing good. We live in a $700,000 house. I think it's more than that. House in Tucson. We good. But you can take her. Let me tell you how to get in. I'm gonna show you how to do this with the take. I'm gonna lapse the ring, the doorbell's subscription. You take her. Go to this way, and then that way I got deniable plausibility. I left the house. My cell phone gonna ping. I'm be at home. I might be on the internet. It might send a Snapchat. Hey, I'm home, guys. What you doing? Just so I can have an alibi. And then he texts the brother-in-law, hey, you get that Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah on our end. That don't even sound like a request. Like, hey, we want it. It's like, hey, did you do this yet? Like, we waiting. We still got this old lady. Or maybe he told her not to hurt him. Hey, we get this money. We need some money for the band. Don't hurt her. Just we're going to give her back. But she don't know you guys. So go in the back door, and I'm going to go to the front, smash the cameras, and we go straight in. She could barely walk. It had to be multiple of them. I don't see that guy carrying her out. They say she might not have left on her own feet. So that means she came to the front door. Something happened when she spilled blood, but they shoved her back in, maybe had the car in the back and took her in the back, took her somewhere. Because you're not taking her out of Tucson. I don't think you're taking this old lady out of Tucson. You'd be caught quicker than fucking bow bow. She going to have to pee every 20 seconds.
What's going to happen yet. They don't even have his mug shot up at this time, but I was able to track down this image of him. There are some other images going around. Shout out to JLR Investigates, the YouTube channel. He's probably live right now. He's always live, always investigating. He does great work. And
now that I know that the dude, see, the police leaving too much shit out. Like, they know they just trying to make sure it's an open case or something, or see if she's still alive. Like, we don't got no body, so we gonna pretend like we don't know. Because if we say, hey, you in it, then that might alert them, and then they might, do some stuff to her. So maybe they're just trying to get her back. Because I did not know that the person texted the son-in-law saying, hey, we want this, blah, blah. How did you get his number?
I also saw him talking, not exactly about this, but talking a bit about this guy. So check him out as well if you want some more details on this fake ransom note guy. It's just so strange, but we're still waiting to see what's happening. Some note. Halala. Who is this guy, and how did he have these people's number to just, you sent some silly text. I just wanted to see if they would write back. I don't know if I buy that, but then also, how do you even have this number? And I think it's just such a coinkydink.
That is him.
The only online presence of Tommaso, the son-in-law and brother-in-law, his only online presence is this rock metal hardcore music. And the only thing I can dig up on you, Mr. Derek Halala, is that you also make this exact same kind of music. It's just, something's just odd.
So I introduced myself and told her why I was here. And that was it. And we chatted for a bit.
Are you worried for your own safety because you don't know what happens to her?
So did they not ask for nothing? Because if you Savannah and they asking for something reasonable, like a couple $1,000s to save your mother, you don't send that? Like, FBI, get the fuck out of my face. I'm sending the money off. Unless these people go like, they think like, oh, you send that money, she dead? But she would have been dead already. If she dead, she dead. I don't see why they wouldn't pay that money.
Not really, not too much. I mean, I think most people are a little bit at this point, a little concerned. But I'm not overly concerned. But this is a very, very safe neighborhood. Generally, it's a very beautiful neighborhood, and I think most people haven't been overly concerned. I also have dogs.
I also have dogs. Those dogs gonna fucking run away. The amount of people that think they dog gonna save their life is crazy. The dog gonna be running in front of you. Oh.
New information. This is actually coming from President Trump. He is on Air Force One and he was asked about the Nancy Guthrie investigation. Okay, I'm going to read you this. Trump said, "We have some clues that I think are very strong, and I think we can have some answers coming up fairly soon." And the reporter said, "Is this a nationwide search? Is this a search going to Mexico?" And Trump said, "No, I'm not talking about a search. I'm talking about a solution. We have some things I think that will maybe come out reasonably soon from DOJ or FBI or whoever that could be." And the reporter said, "A suspect?" And Trump said, "Yeah, could be definitive." So according to President Trump, something may be happening big behind the scenes, which would coincide with what we're seeing out here at the scene, because as I told you, they've moved everybody back. The FBI is back on the scene, and they're doing a whole big, what they called an investigation.
Lots of new updates on the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case. Honestly, every 20...
You got some insider information? 3 deputies just arrived at Anna's house. Where you watching that at? I need to see that.
8 to 30 minutes, there's another new headline and another new piece of information coming out, and it's just so hard to even keep up with it. But I'm going to give you a total recap of everything that has happened since my previous video last night in this video. And trust me, as you can imagine, all of them are, if not a head scratcher, just absolutely shocking. And on top of these updates, I have one theory that I have heard no one else make yet. And I think it's the most obvious theory, unfortunately. I'll explain everything.
Let's get started. And the ransom just a cover up?
And again, this was stated in their previous show on News Nation by one of the, I think, FBI law enforcement personnel. This isn't like any case I've ever seen, and I've been tracking cases now for 20 plus years. My 2 years in Iraq, 04 to 06, but I've almost got a PhD in this, and I've never come across this case with, the demands sent to TMZ, sent to local news media. They need to go directly to the family. They're asking for millions of dollars on Bitcoin, which will be untraceable if that money's sent. And they're not acting in good faith. And I frankly think this group is going after the news media. They've created this 24/7 news cycle, and I think this exposure.
They asking for millions? They're trying to ask for something that they know ain't gonna get paid. Savannah gonna have to make the choice between like 15, 20 years of hard work, just shit out the bed and savings, and the mama. Jeez, that's not a hard decision, but I think it wouldn't be it might not be, because you don't know if she alive. Like, okay, I'll get this money, 5 million, 10 million, and she returned, and that's one thing, but you give that and it's gone and she could be dead already. And it could just be their flight money out of the country.
May be part of it. So you have to look at, the motives. Why would you go after, Savannah Guthrie is a very high profile figure, but, she's not controversial. Why would they go after her mother, who's, got a health condition? She's 84.
That doesn't surprise me. And I didn't need a former FBI agent to tell me that something isn't right here. Just a little bit ago, there are agents, law enforcement on the roof, walking across the roof of Nancy Guthrie's home. They're back there once again. And this is all coming after a follow-up response from the alleged kidnappers. And I say alleged kidnappers because we don't really know for sure if it's the actual kidnappers. I do assume law enforcement knows enough to know that these are most likely serious and coming from the kidnappers, because they knew enough to know that one of these was a hoax and was coming from a faker and someone, an imposter, just trying to get rich quick and ask for a bunch of Bitcoin from the family, and he didn't even have anything to do with it. And so it's a good thing that he was arrested yesterday for that. For whatever reasons that are not being disclosed to us, law enforcement has received another correspondence from these kidnappers, and they are also taking that seriously. And this comes after a video put out by the Guthrie family, which I'm going to play in just a second. I'm sure we've all seen the one where Savannah Guthrie is very emotional, and it's very heartbreaking and just horrible to hear her plea.
Did she sound that emotional? I'm not saying she did something to her mom, but she was very emotional. I think I've seen a lot of stuff saying they lacked emotion, but that's just us speculating because we think one of them did it probably. Yeah, they didn't pick her up, sent the Uber, and he dropped her off for some reason.
and cries for the safe return of her mother. But they do pretty much disclose, hey, we're willing to talk. We're willing to negotiate.
Exactly. And it's so weird that I don't think they've drawn enough attention that it's weird as shit for kidnapping is weird of an elderly person. But to kidnap her, send a ransom, and then multiple people, like we live in a world now with the next kidnapping, oh, it's a kidnapping, and then they got like 5 fake ransom. Like, oh, just send a Bitcoin text. Like, yeah, see if they do it. You never know if they do it. You wake up tomorrow, you just got $1 million of Bitcoin and you live free. And then what, the person dies because the person don't got another $1 million and they're like, oh, you sent it to the wrong motherfucker. That wasn't our Bitcoin wallet. And then now the person's dead. Like for like 4 different ransom notes to be sent is crazy. Like I think about like paid in full or something. Like they should send a finger back at this point. Like I definitely think I think this lady's dead already and this is a red herring.
We're ready to pay the ransom. It sounds, I mean, right? In so many words, okay, we'll pay the ransom, but you sent this ransom note, and this is a serious ransom note, and you're saying, oh, we want this money, and then you'll get your mom back, and they're like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. And then you have this second video put out today by another male family member right here.
Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you.
So this is the brother,
we haven't heard anything
not the brother-in-law.
directly. We need you to reach out and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you and we are waiting for contact.
And he's basically saying, hey, listen, like,
I don't even like the way he's looking down that many times in this video. Like, unless the FBI like, yo, we need you to put this video or say this. And he like, oh, damn, I got it. Okay, let's do it. And then he just had to read it all of a sudden. But this ain't from the heart. This is like something somebody told him to read is emotionless. Like, otherwise you wouldn't need to look down at no damn paper.
Hey, if this family wants to pay it, if they want to negotiate, if they want to meet those terms and they want to pay that price, that's totally in their hands. And that, I mean, it's up to them. And all they're saying is, you know, we're kind of in a gold rush era of AI to where people are being fooled left and right every single day on the internet with fake videos, images, and audios, pretending to be someone or just falsifying things. And so, I mean, honestly, it makes perfect sense. It's actually very smart on their end. I might have not even thought of that, but myself, but it's very smart of them to kind of foresee, listen, let's rule out any possibility. Don't try to send us any AI videos or audio phone calls or images of Nancy to show proof of life because we're hip to you. Like we no, you're not going to get us with that. Hey, buddy, you haven't even told us what to do. You haven't.
Yeah, then they sent like the Bitcoin is like with there's no way of like communicating back with them, which is, I guess, is good if you're thinking from a criminal point of view. Like, we're going to send this, we're going to tell them we got this deadline on Wednesday and then this deadline on Monday. Monday equal death. But doing that, you think they would have sent a finger or something back? That's probably risky. But hey, check this location. It's going to be a finger there. In the middle of the desert, we're going to write the coordinates. Fuck it, write the coordinates, the lat long. And they can go and find it in the middle of the desert. It'll be lat long there, and it'll be her finger or something. Like, if you the criminal, if you going all this way, they want that money. And let her off at a bus stop. But we ain't going to keep going around in circles. Like, this is just more time, and they send the video, hey, she alive, and something was weird about it. I don't think the FBI just said, oh, it might be AI. They probably just like, this don't our system, because how good could these motherfucking people be? Like, I get it, people get faked by AI, but there's ways to tell. I'm sure they took a picture of this lady. They got the world's best AI where, like, maybe she's just in a white room, like maybe it's like an AI picture, you can't tell, but it's damn sure ain't no video, because they could be able to, nah, it ain't that good that the FBI system can't detect. You go download that shit, put it in ChatGPT or Gronk on X and be like, is this AI? And they'd be like, oh, because of this, it could be AI. They can't keep this woman alive. Her daughter is a news journalist on national TV. Yeah. He's reading from a paper, definitely. It's punishment from a...
And even told us where to... Where do we bring the money? What form of currency? I mean, crypto, $100 bills, gold coin.
And it'd be weird if they asked for Bitcoin now because the guy who they said was faking asked for Bitcoin. So it ain't like the kidnapper gonna be like, oh, you know what? We were going to ask for that money in all 20s, but that last guy, that last ransom note, we'd actually like that. Send it in Bitcoin. Make it untraceable.
Sacagawea dollars? Like, well, I mean, what are we doing? What do you want? If we look at all the information we have, and again, this is just my opinion, I'm just a guy, random guy. I'm no expert. If these people went into Nancy Guthrie's home and kidnapped her for the sake of, hey, we're going to kidnap you and we're going to get a ransom from you because we know.
And it would have had to be more than one, right? Unless this big burly guy just went in there and picked up this lady and took her out by herself and put her in the car. And she ain't kicking, screaming, nothing. Damn, that woman probably was dead before they left that house. Because I get there was blood on the porch, but they said it was like nosebleed blood. But then what would have made her nose bleed? And if you hit that lady, she got a damn pacemaker. It could have set off a heart attack. You hitting this lady in the middle of the night. You know how dark it is in some of these Tucson streets? This lady answered the doors 1, 2 in the morning, and you break in the house, she heard that noise. She probably would have had that enough to scare somebody to death right there. They probably even touch her.
Know that your family's rich, or at least one person is, right? Savannah. Yeah, she's rich and famous. Yeah, we're gonna get the money we're asking.
$5
for.
million a
we
year.
know there's a blood trail. We know it belongs to Nancy. She was at least one time busted open during this kidnapping. She doesn't have her medication that she desperately needs. She's on a pacemaker. Just lots of health factors.
But the son-in-law would have knew that, right? He would have knew, hey, we need to take this medicine when y'all kidnap her. Unless they were the closest to her, because Savannah's in New York or whatever, and they're the close, and maybe the son-in-law, the ones that go over there all the time, help her refill her prescription or whatever. And if he was planning this, hey, in a month, we're going to kidnap that old lady. Yeah, she got 2 prescriptions. I'm going to take a few out of everyone. She get them in the 100, so I'm going to go. She ain't counting them, right? 84-year-old. She ain't counting her damn pills out. Or maybe she got one of those things that you keep the pills for every day, and he collecting pills. Let me take 5 from this one on. Let me take 5 from this one. We don't plan on having it for 14 days. All you got to do is steal 14 of those motherfuckers over a month or two. Maybe he go in the house. Hey, Mom, can I use the bathroom? I was like, yeah. He go in there and steal some of the pills. Okay, we got enough to keep her alive. And then they don't even need to keep it. If you really thinking it out enough to not pay the subscription and get people to do it and take her and smash everything and go through the front, bust her nose, but carry her through the back. Megyn Kelly and them was saying that they got reports that they took her through the back door. They entered through the front and took her through the back door. What we can't confirm is were the 2 cameras smashed, like Nancy Grace and them are reporting and Megyn Kelly, or the sheriff won't confirm that. He just said that they weren't active. Which one? Destroyed and not active is 2 different things.
That are pretty serious. Okay, coming into play here.
That's all we can do is speculate. Sherry, that's what the police doing right now. They're speculating and estimating, and what can we do? That's all they doing. We're not saying he did it, and we ain't shunning the man and outside his house protesting, where's her body? We're just saying this is how it looks. Now, if it turned out another way, then we're like, oh, shit, we ain't see that coming. My bad, we were wrong. Hey, you look weird as hell, but that's why they do an investigation and not a Salem witch trial. We ain't gonna put his head in the water and see if he can. And if he dies, then that means he's not a witch, right?
Hearing from the family, they're confirming we have not had any instructions on. You want us to pay a ransom? You're not even telling us how to do it. And you know why I think that is, as much as I don't want to say it. I think something went wrong on the kidnapper's end. Whoever hatched this genius idea to kidnap this poor woman, and well, you're going to get a bunch of money from it. I don't know, whether it was from the initial blow that we know happened because there's blood splatter belonging to Nancy during the kidnapping, or whether it was in the next day and a half or so with the pacemaker and the lack of medication. There's no way they went and let me go and drug cabinet and get your meds. You know,
If it's the son-in-law, he could say that. Let's get the meds. Or she could scream it, I need my medication. Like, I can't imagine him opening the door and just busting that old lady in the head. Get back. Bow. But like they said, there's a nosebleed. That's what Nancy Grayson reported too, is a nosebleed. It's like that initial gush, and then it's like drop, 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 but it's going out. So she would have had to go out, and then they pushed her back in somehow. Like, and this is like trying to put all the FBI reporting and the news reporting together. Like, but the police, for some reason, is not just telling us straight up. Like, it ain't gonna help the fucking case. The kidnappers already kidnapped her. She's gone. So telling us how they did it, unless you think it's like somebody that's close that was going, if they know that you're getting close to them, might do something to her. Like, what the hell is that? What would that stop telling us what happened, how they entered? What did they break the ring cam or not? It's weird to hide that to me.
Because I know you need them for your blood pressure and just whatnot. I mean, you know, there's no way they were thinking of that.
Oh, shit.
So somewhere in between.
Lloyd.
I hate to say it, but in my opinion, I do think Nancy is no longer with us, and that is why we do not have proof of life. And think about it. They sent another correspondence with more details. What are those details? We don't know. We even had an expert get on the national news just a minute ago. And this expert on the news got to personally read that follow-up ransom note that happened today. And, they said, is there any evidence of proof of life included in this ransom note? And she confirmed, no, there is not. And then they said, is there any details about, where she is, or like any other question you could possibly have? And she just says, oh, well, I'm not allowed to talk about that. Why would a kidnapper not include proof of life? What are we doing here? Why is none of that being included if you want this money? I think they screwed up big time. I think they got in way over their heads. They didn't realize how humongous this would turn out to be. They had to know it would be a kind of big. Like,
it's big, you know that, in Savannah, but they didn't, with everything going on, no way they thought that the fucking president of these United States was going to come on national TV and say, yeah, we see it, we know everything, I'm directing all law enforcement to there. Your fucking asshole got a fucking quiver when you hear that. Like, what? It ain't just the sheriff department and like the local Tucson FBI office, like the fool? Are you, what? Get rid of her right now.
I'm sure you had to know, like, who she's related to, who her daughter is, and but I think they way underestimated what this would turn out to be. Now it's huge and it's everywhere, and they're probably frightened. And I'm sorry, but I think they screwed up. And as much as I hate to say it again, I hope I'm wrong. My opinion, I think Nancy unfortunately passed away in one way.
She could have passed away. This lady got a pacemaker. Just being hit, bow. This lady could have had a heart attack right there on the floor. They're like, oh my God. Fuck it. We came this far as a dead body. If we were going to take care of this old lady for ransom, we could damn sure go take care of a dead body. It's the most recent one.
An arrest has just been made in the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case right before the 5:00 p.m. deadline today demanded in the ransom note. Now, as you may know, and if you don't, there were 2 ransom notes that were sent to TMZ. One of these notes, authorities are confirming they're taking it very, very seriously. And in that seriously taken ransom note, there are 2 deadlines provided, one for 5 p.m. Thursday, February 5th, which is today, and then another one for this coming Monday. These are the deadlines,
which is today,
to pay a $50,000 ransom.
It's only $50,000. If I'm Savannah, I'm taking that chance 5 times over. Yo, let me get 50,000. Huh? Give my mother. Let me get another 50. Huh? This the last 50. Come on, take it. Please give my mother now. Huh? Like, we ain't talking about hundreds of a million, couple million, hundreds of thousands, 50,000. She probably got purses and jewelry in her shit. But that also made me think that it ain't really about the money.
in order to get Nancy Guthrie returned alive and well. Clearly, that deadline is just hours away, but an arrest has been made. I'll explain all the details surrounding this at all. And during the investigation by law enforcement, they realized someone who wrote that second note is an imposter. They don't have anything to do with the kidnapping case, and they're sickeningly just
I thought the ransom was a couple million, right?
trying to capitalize.
But I don't think they ever said the price. They just said that they asked for some. I don't think that the sheriff never confirmed the price
On the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie, and so they sent in a fake ransom note demanding money. And they have been arrested and caught now. And I say, good. Can't wait to get more details here soon on who exactly that is and find out everything about this person and see what justice is brought to them. Why would you target someone who is as elderly as 84? And
we're going to get to it because some of these news stations, they're giving the same information, but like different detail. Oh, she came through the back door. They came through the...
Very agile. Okay. I think those are all the reasons why you would target someone like that. Unfortunately, I've been locked up for 10 years and I've had to spend some time around plenty of people who have done one or multiple kidnappings. And I've heard these stories. And honestly, it sounds like a kidnapper's dream. You're wondering why someone would kidnap a 84-year-old woman who has a pacemaker, limited mobility, yes, needs assistance just to
See, that was the only fucking ransom. It's crazy if they don't send that. Like they must have something like she dead. But even if you thought she was dead, you still send it. Like, oh, we need to catch him, send it, and somehow we're gonna track it, or we set up this fake Bitcoin with a tracker somehow in the last digit. I don't know. These computer people probably got away.
do basic movements and just walk and move. Is not very strong. Yeah, they can't put up a struggle. They can't fight back. You're not going to have a big tussle on your hands. They're probably going to be pretty easy to get control of. And okay, it might be a little slow if you told them to walk to the car. I don't think that you probably grabbed them and brought them to the car yourself. And all this lack of mobility and just moving slow and bad joints, yeah, I guess I don't have to worry about a quick breakaway when we're in the yard heading to the car. I guess I don't really have to keep too much of an eye on you once you're at whatever location I'm holding you at, hopefully holding her at, alive and unharmed, except we know she has been harmed, at least in her house when the kidnapping happened. But yeah, you're not going to be, climbing out of windows and just, scaling the building to make some crazy, incredible physical feat of escape. Yeah, I think that's exactly what a kidnapper would prefer. Like I just mentioned, there are some health concerns, and so I'm really getting worried about it because, yeah, I know there's a ransom note, and they're asking for $50,000. I mean,
50,000.
That just doesn't make sense to me. 50,000 just for everything this has become. And you had to know, unless you didn't know who this woman was and who her family was, you had to know how big this is going to be. The fact that you kidnapped Nancy Guthrie and who her daughter is.
Yeah, I knew. If she big enough that we say, hey, let's send this note to TMZ in a local news station, you know exactly how fucking big she is.
And you're going to go through all of this for $50,000, which that's nothing to bat an eye at. But I just
For Savannah, it is.
If you get what I mean. It just, that I was surprised personally to hear that number. Now, authorities confirmed today that they tested all the blood found at Nancy's house and that it all came back to be Nancy's blood. So we know she was harmed. She was hit at least once. Hopefully it wasn't just something extremely excessive. But there was at least enough to draw blood. And
I think they're offering that if it leads to, I think them offering that $50K from the FBI, whatever it is, to find her is crazy too in 2026. It should at least start at $200K. Hey, if the information leads to the arrest and prosecution of the people who did it or get her found, why not? Savannah, match him, yo. Y'all put up 50, I put up 50. Let's at least say 100. We got to be offer the same amount to the public, at least maybe one of them will turn on them or something, or they cousin that know about it, like, yo, you know what? I want this money. 50K is
somebody who
low
does
on
that
both sides.
and then kidnaps an 84-year-old woman out of her own home. Yeah, I don't really see them taking the time to.
I think Maria, I think the 2 million in Bitcoin is what the fake guy asked for, the LA worker. So there's a guy, there's a guy, the LA county city worker, whatever, who texted the son-in-law and said, hey, we want the Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. And they did all that. And he said, that's the one they arrested. And he said, I was just seeing if I can get something, blah, 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 blah. And he's a heavy metal rocker. And the son-in-law is also a heavy metal rocker. That's a weird connection. Like, there's like I can't, like Ozzy Osbourne type, like screamo metal. And they both into that. And that's their only online presence. They don't got a Facebook or Instagram. Their only online presence is like music, which is weird. So if it's a red herring, then it don't matter what they ask for. 50K, they know they ain't getting it, whatever, or they get it and get out. I don't know. I guess you would ask for something ridiculous, 5 million, which would take a lot of time and, like, you know, she did anyway. But 50,000 is such like a random, like, spare the moment number to, like, unless it's like I said, a meth head somewhere in Tucson, they're like, I just need some money.
Medication.
But a meth head ain't going through all this and this smart not to get caught by the police and evade them for this long, sending messages and shit.
That she needs. We know that she has a pacemaker. We know that she has several prescription medications that she greatly relies on for her conditions, and she needs those. And now it's been days and days and days that I'm assuming she hasn't had anything that she needs. Like, and I want to be optimistic, but it just seems more and more grim. And I hate to even put that thought out there, but it's just not looking good. Authorities say there is no person of interest. There is no suspect. We don't have anybody. We don't got anybody. And I just don't know if I believe that. And I get why sometimes it's strategic not to reveal that in the media. And if that helps your investigation and that assists you in actually catching who did this, that's fine. I'm fine with that. It's not important that we know.
Yeah, I think they like confirmed Nancy Grace, because she's like worked with Savannah and close to her. She said that it was a nosebleed blood. I guess maybe they can test it, and because of your nose, I don't know, they could tell where the hell it came from, your veins and part of your body. They said it was a nosebleed type of thing. I guess just because of the way it dropped, right? It ain't dripping off your arm and down your finger. It's like a splatter. Then there's those little bleep. If you see anybody with a nosebleed, then you know exactly what they're talking about. That nosebleed pattern. You're like, oh, and it's just dripping. It ain't nothing impeding it. It's just going straight down. Like, and it's like, it wasn't that much. It wasn't a crazy amount. It was like, oh, a little kid got a nosebleed. Oh, type thing.
Oh, as much as it's important that you do whatever you got to do and go about it whatever way to catch who's actually responsible.
I agree. Somebody took their time.
But I think most people right now are looking at the son-in-law of Nancy Guthrie, who is the brother-in-law of Savannah Guthrie. And I made a video on this last night, really digging into his past. He's been in a band, some kind of rock band.
That's true. Old people, especially in Tucson, with all his son, they be always having Band-Aids on.
Name of the band mentions murder and love and life and murder. And a lot of lyrics of these songs are just...
Let me see. I love Criminal Lawyer. I'm definitely going to use... Oh, his son died. I ain't seen him since then. This person said the same thing. Seniors easily get skin tears, especially on their arms. They bleed a lot, especially if they're on blood thinners. She had a pacemaker. I don't know if that would be good on pacemaker, would it? My husband's on blood thinners, and just a little tiny nick or cut, he will bleed all over the place. Oh, several of her photos are definitely like she's on blood thinners. Oh, and she could have been scared. Who knows? But my skin on my hand and arms are thin tissue. The slightest bump leaves a large discolored area. I'm the same age. Around my 60s, my skin turned. I was so sun worshipped. Tucson, yeah, Catalina Foothills up there. She has a pacemaker, so she'll be on blood thinners. Okay. 5 out of 6 of my meds after my heart attack were blood thinners. Hey, so she probably was on blood thinners, made it easy for her to bleed. Who knows how she got in? Those were, it was droplets. So maybe even if she prone to nose bleeding and she get all like, oh my God, people here, it could have easily, like, what is going on? Boop, her nose start bleeding. My money is still on the son-in-law involved. He is a teacher, happily married with a kid, and just bought a house near his, I don't know what that is, mill. So irresponsible to accuse and ruin a person's life. It ain't going to accuse him. If you don't understand how if you're the last person to see somebody and you're the son-in-law, like that's classic, like Agatha Christie murder mystery, like the Poirot murder, like that's classic. Like, so if you don't understand, like, hey, I understand why they're looking at me. I'm the family, but I'm like married and I'm the last one to see her. And I get it. So I'm open to the police, my phone, my house, whatever they want, everything. That's all you got to say. Like anything else, his wife should be suspicious. I pray she's safely. Let me see what the criminal lawyer said an hour ago.
The Today Show host, and this is chilling.
R.I.P. to his son too, Michael, that died or killed himself. I think, oh, that's crazy. Died.
And there's some reason why, and we're going to talk about how they're going to solve this, and just some of the facts and updates that we have, and it's an ongoing thing. So we'll kind of keep track of this. But before we get to that, this is brought to you by our sponsor, AskALawyer.com. AskALawyer.com. Real chilling facts here. First of all, there's blood inside and outside the home, and we'll show you photos of that. Secondly, we've got there's a Nest door cam, and there were other cameras in the house and outside the house that were smashed. Well, what does that tell you? That is foul fucking play, right? And how horrible for the Guthrie family. She's an 84-year-old woman, lost her husband when Savannah was in high school, I believe, and she never remarried. And it's just, by all accounts, this woman was inoffensive to anybody. But what do we know? So we know that there's blood inside and outside the home. That's disturbing. And during the press conference, they didn't say it was blood. And that's because it hasn't been tested. We don't know whose blood it is. Could that have been caused by the person smashing the camera? Pacemaker's connected to her iPhone. And when that separates, no longer gets a signal. And it's not like you can get a GPS signal from the pacemaker, but that's kind of a benchmark about when they think she left the house.
You think that this app would have some type of thing where if the pacemaker disconnect, it treats it like a life alert, and call you, and if they don't call you, they automatically call an ambulance or something, and like that it shouldn't be able to just disconnect. It should be like you got to are you sure you're disconnecting? Like boop, or maybe it's the way she it did it. I'm assuming that she got too far from the phone and disconnected. Like, it's different if she go in the app, delete it, or log out, or delete the account. But if it just disconnected, and it's like the phone's on and they can't find it, I don't know. Maybe it should be treated like that she dead and call a life alert.
So that's when because her phone was left there at the home. See? It is interesting that there's blood inside and outside the home. I could totally see somebody smashing their fingers or cutting themselves in trying to smash the glass that's on, these devices. And you wouldn't have these smashed by any other means than ill means, right?
But we don't even know if they smashed it or did they just take them.
Right? Is there any legitimate reason why somebody would smash these cameras? No, there isn't. So that's why we know there's some foul play involved. So we know that they smashed the cameras and came in about 2 a.m. And that's a problem. That's just those two facts right there. And in the area that she lived, the homes and the properties that they own are pretty large. The properties are kind of secluded. In other words, they're in a rural area, so they're not. There's no street lights, that kind of thing. Where do we go from here? You have a woman who's having trouble getting around. She probably uses a walker or a cane. 84 years old. That's pretty common. you have somebody that has health problems. She has medication that she's supposed. I mean, it's not easy. Same with like a disabled child. And I've been practicing law for almost 30 years. I've never once seen a kidnapping ransom case. I mean, this is not something that happens every day. And so where do you turn? Well, one of the things you turn to is the electronic data, first of all, and it's usually somebody close to the vest, somebody that knows them or has reason to know them or related to them, like the husband's always an issue. Well, her husband died a long time ago, so he's not an issue. So who else? Who was the last person to see her alive? Was it the brother-in-law? As you can see here, creepy looking dude. Who knows? And one of the things that they can do is, there's cell towers, her cell phone works right in there. They'll pull all the cell phones that were working on those towers at that time. And if you ping on the cell phone towers, you triangulate. It's suspicious if you turn your phone off, like in the Kroberger situation, and it's suspicious if you have it on. So it's like, but you're best off just to put it, leave it on and put it on some public transportation somewhere, like duct tape it under. Am I trying to tell you how to thwart the law? No. Look into the mind's eye of somebody who would try to abduct and do something with Nancy Guthrie. I mean, why would you do this? Is it a financial gain or is it a grudge? It's probably one or the other. I mean, she certainly isn't going to be sex trafficked. I mean, who the hell would want that? I mean, I don't mean that in a way like it sounds, but that seems unlikely, right? Unless it's some creepy dude who's like somebody that did their yard upkeep.
A deacon at the church.
Or, a handyman or a cleaner or somebody, like that. You have to kind of keep all that stuff in mind. Now, one of the things, so even though you smash the camera, there's still going to be some data on that camera, because it's stored off site.
They didn't pay for the subscription, so they ain't holding that. And then the sheriff said they send it out to the company, whoever it was. We just call it a Ring, but I don't think it was a Ring. I forgot the other company. But they send the camera off to see if there's anything on it. They couldn't find nothing, just a motion sensor.
In the cloud. It's not like, okay, I got rid of the camera. I got rid of the footage. My security stuff is right here on my phone, and they left the phone there. So it would seem to me whoever approached the home should be seen on that camera. But whoever did approach knew enough to destroy the camera on the outside of the house and the other cameras that were around. So they knew that home, is my guess. They knew who they were going after. And how did they know that? So the house has been processed and it's been given back to the family. And one of the things that the cops are doing is they're waiting for that Nest footage to get to them. That's going to be huge because you're going to see.
It was Nest, not Ring, Nest.
Who approached that door. You're going to see that. I would think.
But they did
exactly what the demand is.
Why would you send it to TMZ? That seems to me like some dude that's, hey, I know how we can get some money. Let's go send something to TMZ. I mean, why would you do that? And so you got one of two motives, really.
They did send it. It was a case of that. Oh, we're just trying to get some money. But then another one got sent to TMZ. Two, which is fucking weird to me. 2 ransom notes got sent to TMZ. I think they're all connected. Somehow those people, I don't know. It's just weird. Maybe one got through and the other one, it's so weird.
Either personal and vindictive, or
maybe they told somebody that they were going to do it. Like it's like 5 of them, all his bandmates or something, and they're going to take her while he give them like the keys to the house or something. And like they told somebody, or one of them on the side tried to like get some money on the side without them or something. I don't know. So weird.
Financial. So whoever is doing this either knows that
Savannah's
the daughter, and that's her mom. And so there's a connection there, to get a payday, or it's somebody much closer. and money's not an issue, and it's just really kind of fuck you, bitch, and I'm going to do this to you, which is just tragic. It's just absolutely tragic. It's just, you know, that's the mindset of somebody that would go to the length of kidnapping somebody. I've had a couple kidnapping cases over my career, and they're pretty rare. People don't generally kidnap people. I remember I used to drive an ambulance, I told you, for a living, and I was in felony court, and all of a sudden I see this guy behind glass. He's, you know, in custody coming up. And it was a guy I used to drive an ambulance with. He was in a Target parking lot trying to get this lady, telling her he was law enforcement, to come into his car. He was going to abduct her. I mean, what the hell's wrong with you?
What you going to do with it?
And like this, you know, you think you're all safe in your bed, and all of a sudden somebody comes in and routs you out of your bed and takes you away. That should not happen.
Crazy.
But when you look at it, what have they offered? Like $2,500 for a reward? I thought that was just incredibly low. It's like, okay, she's worth $40 million or something like that, and you're offering $2,500. I mean, she's not offering that. I think that's coming from the county, but that seems a little silly. Oh, $2,500.
Yep.
Make it $5,000, and I'll find out where you.
They said the FBI took the ransom note seriously, because that ransom note knew the location of her Apple Watch. So they put it somewhere, and like only the people that was there would know, like, damn, they took it off her and put it in this location on the couch by the refrigerator. And they said the detail that they took out the floodlight.
Here she is. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So the motivation behind this kidnapping will kind of lead you to who did this, obviously. And so, you know, I've seen a little bit of stuff on the brother-in-law, who looks a little hippie-ish and tries to sell jewelry or whatever he does. And supposedly, and this is unconfirmed, but he was the last one to see her alive, right? You know, these are whodunit type of things. You know, this is why I like criminal law, because this is like, okay, now let's get down to the nitty-gritty and figure out what happened here. And where do you start? You start in and you work out, right? And so they processed the home. That tells you there probably wasn't a whole lot of evidence in the home. Not a lot, nothing taken except for her. Nothing destroyed except for things that would identify the kidnapper, right? Blood inside and outside the home. As time goes by, as each hour clicks, as each day elongates into
the likelihood of
more
being
uncertainty, the odds of her coming back safely diminish. And my heart just goes out to this family. You know, I mean, what would you do if they took your mom? I mean, she took my fucking mom. What are you doing taking my mom? There's certain crimes I understand, you know, like Michael Milken, you know, insider trading and junk bonds and all this other stuff. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. That Michael Milken, that was back in the 80s. Shooting a guy because he's in bed with your wife. I mean, okay, I get it. Attacking somebody because they've attacked your family member. You know, you can understand those types of crimes. But I don't understand stuff like this.
This is some mafia hit shit.
Okay, so when you hear him answering questions of the press, he's not really volunteering a whole lot of information, and deservedly so, because if you do that, you know, you may inadvertently tip off, you know, and give some clues to the kidnapper. They'll get some ring information. They'll get some cell tower information. I think that's going to be your key. Because remember what happened with Brian Kohlberger? I mean, all of a sudden his phone's off in a certain period and then back on. And it was right during the murders. It's like you were supposed to be a
This
PA.
press conference was
had facts
senseless.
associated with a deadline, with a monetary value they were asking for. So at that point,
what were some of those facts, if you can, because there's been a lot of speculation, as you know, if you could set the record straight.
Yeah, the ransom itself, one talked about an Apple Watch, and one talked about a floodlight. We're not going to go into specifics. It's very important that we keep this investigation moving forward, and we don't want to put more facts out there that others then can use to try to profit from this.
In this ransom note, And I guess there's more than one, sent to CNN and TMZ. And in the ransom note, they talk about receiving, a lot of money in Bitcoin. And, thinking that there's no way to really trace the Bitcoin. But there is a way to trace the Bitcoin. It just defies some logic that you...
Yeah, with big, you got to switch that wallet so many times and have it set up right, which if they went through this much trouble, they might.
Annie and Cameron made a tearful appeal for their mother's safe return.
So it's her husband that everybody think it is, right? The one on the left? That's Annie, Savannah, and their brother.
Via Instagram on the evening of February 4th.
We are ready to talk. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen.
You've seen the old movie footage, right? Where you hear somebody say, well, let me talk to so-and-so. Well, we're not going to. Well, then hang up, Remember that movie Ransom by with Mel Gibson? Give me back my son. I mean, what would you do? You would just fucking go apeshit. And I'm sure Savannah Guthrie is just absolutely beside herself.
Feeling
with grief
helpless
right now. How could you even walk? How could you even talk? How could you do anything? If I were her.
Look how big that house is. So you got the front door over there on the top. And she went through the garage because, it's easier just to go through, close the garage. You got the big-ass backyard, pool. It's crazy that this lady was living here with such... There should have been fucking cameras on every corner of this house. It should be beep, 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 beep. As soon as somebody beep, every little squirrel, if there's a snake in the grass, it should have been... I don't know. But we're Monday morning quarterbacking, so...
I'd be setting up shop in her parents' house and her mom's house, and I wouldn't leave until I figured out what was going on. The sheriff indicated that her life was in jeopardy, and they said so, I think for a couple of reasons. One, she's been abducted, so clearly she's going to be in jeopardy because of that, but also because of this medication issue. She's
50,000 is just so crazy. Are we just jaded as Americans that we're like, oh, because we see celebrities and 50,000 this, 50,000 that? Like, is it just that, or is it? Somebody else said this reminds me of the Lindbergh baby. They never should have released the fact she has a pacemaker. I have a pacemaker, and usually the manufacturer can pull a report. The data will show everything the heart does, including stop. Why should they not have included it? I think they said on TV it submits the data through local Bluetooth devices like your cell phone. They said it only sends a daily update to her doctor, but might not if she's all the way from her device. Damn. It doesn't. Damn, the pacemaker still be going on. Oh, so it wouldn't get a signal like it stopped. That's like a regular heart. I think that makes sense. It's not supposed to stop. It's gonna keep going until it's turned off. Oh. Then yeah, it recorded her. Must be her last little beeps on the thing is her fearing for her life, like that, and the boom 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 boom, and that report the doctor must have got. Oh man, it must have been like. What if they know she had a heart attack? What if she got hit and they know from her scans or the last data that was sent that this lady is no longer living? Like, nah, the doctor like, nah, look at her heart spiked. She dead. What? Is that a thing? Yeah, Tucson is a elderly community. It'd be some old people helping other old people in the car. She didn't have the paid subscription, yeah. That's crazy. It's $100. There was a car being towed away from them?
We begin at 7 with breaking news tonight. Several new leads in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. She, of course, the mother of Savannah Guthrie from the Today Show. She disappeared 6 days ago. Good evening, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams.
And I'm Annabelle Sedano.
Annabelle and Colleen, we are outside of Nancy Guthrie's home, or as close as we can right now, as evening falls here in Catalina Foothills. That is what the suburbs are called here, just outside of Tucson. And we want to, as we take a look behind us, talk about three major developments that are going on right now in this investigation. Number one, the FBI and investigators are back at the home, and we can confirm they are still there. We just found out moments ago. Now, as you heard on the NBC4 News at 6 o'clock tonight, as you take a look at some of the investigation that has been unfolding over the last few days, we did tell you this evening that investigators were spotted in the backyard tonight. They were looking apparently for something. We don't know exactly what, but was it related to an email received by a local news station here in Tucson today?
That poor woman. Whenever something happens like this, I think about them like as a baby, they mama carrying them and feeding them and growing up and taking their first steps and like going through the grades and all the schooling and high school, college, and doing this, falling in love, having kids, and it just end like this, like boom, one night.
That would be development two. A demand received from that station here, again, a local news station, an email sent to them. Was it from the same person or person who spent the first time writing a note that demanded a 5 p.m. deadline yesterday and then a 6 p.m. deadline Monday? Authorities stressed to NBC, law enforcement has not been able to determine the legitimacy of the email received today or of the first ransom note. And again, it is still not verified if that first note with a second deadline for Monday. Colleen and Annabelle, I'm going to ask you guys just to bear with us, to stay with us live here for a second. Our producers are telling us that we want to come back here live. This is another development which I'm going to talk to you about in a second. This
is that the sister's car?
I believe you're going to see live on NBC4 a
neighbor.
flatbed truck. Now, on that flatbed truck is a car. We do not know if this is coming from the driveway of Nancy Guthrie's home. We don't know if it's coming from a neighbor's, but we have been told and asked to look out for it. I'm going to get out of the way. It is really important that we get a shot of this car as it comes. Ladies, follow me as we do it. Lewis, go ahead and turn. And apparently it looked like a
Subaru.
Toyota that was on that flatbed truck.
Is that like a
There's
Toyota?
Pima
That's
County
like a
Sheriff
Subaru.
following that truck. One more time, Lewis. Subaru. I beg
Oh,
your
okay.
pardon. It was a Subaru on that truck. What is interesting, Colleen and Annabelle, is as that truck stops now and they try to make their way down this windy road, that Subaru we were hoping to get a license plate on. The Subaru was turned around, so we could not get a license plate on it.
They got it.
Let's swing by here now and get you caught up. So we are talking about a car that you just saw live on our air that we believe may have come from the driveway of Nancy Guthrie just up the road. So let's just back up, if we will, and catch you caught up on the three major developments. First, investigators back at the home, and as you just saw, they may be taking evidence, that evidence being a Subaru. The second, there is another email, a letter with demands that was sent to a local television news station. Law enforcement can't verify it.
The sheriff did say he responded and said the car that was at the home was taken. It's just standard investigative practices. It's part of the search warrant. Who knows if she had a car? And maybe she's 84, she stopped driving, but it might have been a car there, I mean, for her to use, or if she had somebody coming to help her or something. Let's just look that up.
They say that they don't even know if there's any legitimacy to either of those notes, if these notes are connected. And that means this note received today connected to a first note received on Monday that said that there was a deadline at 5 p.m. yesterday and another deadline for Bitcoin money at 6 p.m. on coming this Monday. The third development, let's show you that video if we can. This is video shot by NBC4 upon our arrival. This is the Circle K. Circle K relevant because apparently There was a tip that came in to law enforcement that a car or cars, vehicle or vehicles, if you will, possibly involved in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, made its way at some point to Circle K. This is about 6-minute drive exactly, ladies, from where I'm standing to that Circle K. And NBC News has learned from Circle K, giving NBC News a statement, that law enforcement went there, they cooperated, and they were willing to give law enforcement their surveillance video. If anything came of that, we don't know. So as you come back here, if anything comes of any of the developments I'm telling you right now, we just don't know. All we can tell you is that there are investigators up at Nancy Guthrie's house, according to NBC News and our team here on the ground. And we see right now that a Subaru vehicle, we may know more in the next couple of hours, should know more when we see you on the NBC4 News at 11.
It's crazy that like the sheriff was so unprepared for this that they like just left so much evidence and stuff there. And it's crazy.
If that Subaru is connected to this.
There's another Subaru behind him right there.
Investigation. I'll leave you with this. Just minutes ago, President Trump on Air Force One said that he is
glitching. I ain't watching that no more. What'd he say?
Fairly certain that there will be some type of developments being announced in the coming hours, because he says things are happening on the ground.
The president said that means he knows something already. Oh, so they all reporting the vehicle. Why would it take them so long to report that vehicle or move it? It should be basic standard procedure to keep the immediate home under police. Yeah, for real. I feel like the police and FBI just screw up most cases these days. I guess that's what the sheriff said. He's even said it, but we all know that something just happened. It's blood here. We got blood patterns. We got weird thing. The Ring camera's missing. The lady phone's here. Which one? A kidnapping or a murder? Will you just give the same day you give the family back possession of the home? That just don't. It's just crazy. You think they got a report that her car was seen? Huh. What do you mean by that? This is recent, that last hour too.
Preview, but we begin. On the Nancy Guthrie's house for about 5 hours now, and within the last hour they towed away a vehicle from that property. We believe that is the same vehicle that we have seen before, parked in Nancy Guthrie's garage. Tonight, it has been taken away, towed away presumably for further examination. Now, earlier in the day, we saw FBI agents also up on the roof of Nancy Guthrie's house. They were approaching a ladder on the corner near a floodlight there. And then also we saw them on the roof of another building, a sort of outhouse building of this property. It's a smaller building, and you could see them there.
So if they took her through the back, they parked the car there and took her right out this door, boom, boom, took the floodlight off. Wow. That's, something over here too. This lady on top of the roof, she got a floodlight. That's crazy to go through that much trouble for in and out. I don't even think the neighbors would have seen that floodlight, right? I guess they just wanted to be careful, but they're so secluded. That's crazy.
Leaning over, taking something that looked as though it might be another camera, taking it away from there, obviously, again, for further examination. It may be a camera we have not heard about before. And then remember these floodlights that the FBI said were mentioned in the original ransom note. Well, we zoomed in on the back of that house today with our drone team. You can see a floodlight there that has clearly been badly damaged. It will be very interesting to see what the FBI makes of that as well, given that what was said in the ransom note prior to that. Now, given all of these developments today, Kevin, it was really interesting to hear President Trump aboard Air Force One
you could
tonight
kick that door
tease
open.
what he seemed to suggest is an imminent breakthrough. Listen here.
Could be definitive.
Sir,
A lot's taken place in the last couple of hours. A lot of things have happened with regard to that horrible situation in the last couple of hours.
Now, one further note on this second message that has apparently been received from a purported kidnapper, Kevin. It did not, according to the local news station that got it here, it did not contain the proof of life that the Guthrie family so obviously want.
Fox News alert, you're looking live at Nancy Guthrie through an infrared drone operated by our Fox flight team as police continue searching the property.
Wildlife camera perhaps on the roof, but who knows? Maybe there's a skylight or something that people feared they could get in through in the past that was covered over. I mean, anything really here is possible here without being up on a roof and seeing it. But I do say to myself, you know, would you not have searched the roof and even at the other house originally, just because, you know, the buildings here are all one story and they're quite low. And, you know, I would have to say to myself, if I was going to do a really thorough search, what if they just threw like a knife or something up onto the roof during the course of the thing? So I am surprised that something like this hadn't been found earlier, but maybe it's not going to be much help because, as we know, that all the other cameras were all wired in a way that they didn't feed the cloud. And as a result, there's no footage to be found.
All right, so the second note that comes in, it's a second IP address. So it's different. The police aren't able to exploit it. This guy's obviously very sophisticated. But the fact that a second note...
No, they didn't clear the son-in-law. He's still weird.
...may have been sent. I mean, that has to give so much hope to the Guthries, who are sitting here dealing with what they thought was just a blank stare and basically a clock ticking down to death on Monday. How much momentum does this give this investigation and negotiation?
Well, if it does indeed open up a line of communication, that is a major break.
You know what I think? It just popped in. I think they are in the manhunt mode for everybody and to make sure, and they arresting people, and it got to be. No way you don't pay $50,000 ransom unless you know she's dead. I've been surprised she did not have a life alert type monitor and microphone. I'm 64 and I'm thinking of getting one, safety, and because of help. Yeah, get one, especially if you live alone. It's scary living alone. Like, no matter how young you are, like, anything could happen. You could slip and fall out the bathtub. You slip in the shower a little bit. Ooh, what if I died? Nobody here. Like, at that age, I'm getting one. Like, I'm in my 30s and I'm already having aches and outs. I damn sure would get one. You got stairs. Yeah, she lived in a one-story too. Like, it's so many things that could have happened. It's just like they caught them slipping. Like, they didn't suspect. Like, not in our neighborhood. What? Like, we leave the door open. Like, we let the Uber driver, the delivery man, come in and out the house. Like, but if it's somebody you know, then it ain't. Could she have done anything? What could she have done? They would have knew the inside and outside of the house. Okay, I know where the camera's at. I can't cut them off. But now I got a ski mask on, running, bow. Same effect.
Because up until now, if the ransomers here, they've been so indifferent that it made you question the entire construction of what's going on here. Is it not an actual ransom situation? Are they not interested in getting paid? Is there some other motive? Is another group involved?
Yeah, they get this lady back. Savannah putting Secret Service on her ass. Savannah going, and Tucson is weird because in the Arizona period, this is where like all the mobsters and criminals come and when they're in like witness protection program. That's how rural it is. They like, go to Arizona. We're gonna put you somewhere, and most likely your enemy ain't gonna ever find you. It's so rural in the desert, they ain't gonna even recognize you. That's how crazy Arizona is.
Had ransomware cases where the original bad guys are being assisted by another set of bad guys. You never know who you're negotiating with. So if they've actually been able to confirm.
That's what I said. Let's recap. People that just got here. You have the brother-in-law. This lady goes to her daughter's house, catches an Uber there for some reason to her daughter's house, right? Okay. Now it's late, 9 o'clock at night. The son-in-law drops her off at the home. He's the last person to see her. She goes through the garage because it's closer than the door. Probably easier for her. She ain't got to go up the steps and stuff. She could barely walk. That's around 9:50 something. And then around between 1 and 2 o'clock, the cameras disconnect. It's even tighter. I'm stretching the timeline, but it's a tighter window. Within 45 minutes, the cameras disconnect. It senses somebody, like a motion sensor, but it don't record nothing. At the front door, she's taken, and her life alert, her pacemaker disconnects from her phone at, it was like 2:20 or something like that, close enough. Her pacemaker disconnect from the phone. So they in the house a little bit, probably scuffling, getting her stuff, whatever. Then the family calls her the next day because she didn't show up for church. That's when the family called to check on her, like when she didn't show up to church. They didn't call her in the morning. Hey, I just wanted to make sure you slept good or whatever. I dropped you off. Hey, show up for church. And it was weird the way that they called her. And I'm assuming maybe the son called. You called. She didn't answer the phone. And when it was less than 3 minutes, then they called the police. Like, I want to know, did the son suggest that, the son-in-law? Because 3 minutes kind of like, let's just drive to her house and see if she there. Like, you thinking something bad happened, she's sick, she got a pacemaker, let's drive. You're not thinking she's kidnapped. Hey, let's just drive there. She might be on the floor dead. Let's get there. We can get there before the ambulance maybe. I'm assuming if the church, how is she going to get to the church? Was she catching an Uber to the church? Or did maybe she drove her car to like small places, like close places, but like they knew it was going to be dark when she came from the daughter-in-law house. So they're like, hey, cut your Uber here and then we'll take you back. We don't want you driving 9 o'clock at night, 84-year-old, you can barely see, crazy dark in Tucson. They ain't got no street lights at a lot of places because they want to see the stars. But she was supposed to drive in the Subaru this morning. So she don't answer in 3 minutes. You don't go to the house. You don't check the ring. I'm assuming y'all should have had access to all this. You check the cameras. Oh, the cameras ain't active. Wait, it detected somebody at 2 a.m. What? All right, let's go. We going. Not, oh, she ain't answered. It's been 3 minutes. What? Call her. She'll never miss church. Call 911. It's weird to me. For elderly, the best thing they can have are the life alerts and side cameras and monitor systems. Yeah, they should have had cameras in the house facing her. So Savannah could be in New York. Hey, Mom, you all right? We got Siri and Apple and Alexa. You telling me you ain't got? Come on, it's too much.
That they're talking to the real bad guys. That is the major break in this thing. Now, one of the ways to be able to tell how much authenticity to give this for the 2 notes is if the IP address you can easily obfuscate. They did it once, they could do it again. You use the onion router, you bounce it around the world. That's the most simple way to do it, and it's easily done. It's very hard to break. But the thing I would be looking for to prove it's the same person is, did they put in the Bitcoin wallet? Assuming they want to get paid so badly, and that's what they're pressing for, if they put that long string of numerals in to the second note,
then it's 100%
which is so unique.
chance.
No, it's not out. Nobody could ever guess it. You immediately say to yourself,
it's 100%.
This is the same person. And then you'd have to start to say to
Wait, what he's saying? Start to say yourself what?
yourself, this is a pretty sophisticated operation, and maybe these notes are the real deal.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to assume they're the real deal.
And heading overseas now, US law enforcement of NBC presenter Savannah Guthrie. The 84-year-old was last seen at a family games night and has been now missing for 7 days.
Camera concerns.
There's a lot of information we have nowadays, right? Because we are surrounded by technology and we have too much technology on ourselves.
There isn't such a thing as too much technology when it comes to a criminal investigation like the Guthrie's case. Dr. Pratik Satam is an industrial control security system expert and says technology has come a long way in this field, a sentiment Sheriff Chris Nanos echoed.
They now have tools and resources that were well beyond what we had when I was in homicide. But the game is the same.
The new game, video, and not only has law enforcement adapted, but so too have criminals.
What are they doing? Covering their plates, removing the camera, whatever.
What the other guy said earlier, the method, like the Lindbergh baby, the times change, technology advance, but so does the method of the criminology. Then you're right. Look, he's saying it. That's what he's saying.
They know. And so it is a cat and mouse thing.
That's exactly what happened at Nancy Guthrie's house the night of her disappearance. As the doorbell camera was ripped off, 30 minutes later, officials say motion was detected on the camera software. So how is that possible?
Maybe there's a motion sensor on it or there's a proximity sensor on it. So the camera might not be functional because it was ripped off, but the other sensors could be functional depending on if they have power and are they operational.
However, investigators say video was not available.
Yo, everybody better go fix their Ring cameras tonight. Like, make sure it's recording right, it's getting everything.
Because Guthrie did not have the subscription service. Dr. Satam explained what that could mean.
Most likely, because you have not paid for it, the video gets overwritten. And if you are paying for the service, then it gets shipped off to the cloud before it's overwritten.
Dr. Satam says front door cameras...
They probably changed their Nest because they're getting so much criticism. They probably going to change their policy. Watch. It's going to be like, Nest, if you without a subscription, you get 5 days rollover time. That's crazy. Less than 12 hours, basically, or whatever, 24 hours. Let's just say 24 hours less than it rewritten over itself. What the fuck use are you? Like, hold it for 72 hours or something, then I get it. But, like, come on. What's the point of buying it? That you just got a fucking a Wi-Fi peephole.
Like Ring are constantly recording and overwriting itself, which is the linchpin for investigators.
The question is, in this case, was that file overwritten or not? And forensics can go through the memory and they can try and recover a file that is not overwritten.
Dr. Satam says if the footage was being sent to the cloud or an external hard drive, there's a higher likelihood of recovery. But if it was just being stored on the camera itself, those files set for deletion are quickly overwritten, which would be a major roadblock in this case.
If the whole thing is overwritten, then there's unlikely any way of getting the whole thing back unless there is a version of it somewhere else.
You saying they ain't finding that shit.
Joining us now is best-selling author who has written some of the biggest thrillers on the planet. He spent much...
Absolutely. Everybody pray for her safe return. It's more crazy now if they find this lady. If they find her, if they find her, God forbid she's deceased, they're going to be like, damn, R.I.P. to her, but let's find the killers. If they find her and they release her, shit going to be crazy.
Of his life inside the minds of countless villains. And I am, of course, talking about former U.S. Navy SEAL Jack Carr. He's the best-selling author of The Terminal List, which was turned into a major television show. Also a good friend. Jack, thank you so much for being here tonight. Sorry about the circumstances. You've seen many things play out in the course of your career in the military. You've dealt with a lot of really bad guys. What is your just initial reaction to the story that we've been seeing playing out over the last few days?
You know, first, you're so heartbroken, and your heart goes out, of course, to the whole Guthrie family, and prayers are with all of them right now, and just praying and hoping for a safe return. But it also brings to light some precautions that anyone in the public eye really needs to take, and we don't know much
satellite
about
cameras
what has happened with Nancy Guthrie yet. If it's we just don't know, but it does make.
Just look at his house. I like to look when they show these aerial views. Drop off here, so that means it probably was a keypad or something at the back. You see that car in there, probably that Subaru. Then you got the front. Damn, it's so isolated, man. This woman could be anywhere.
Make you think, as a public figure, what are some things that I can do where I'm not going to be paranoid, but things that heighten my awareness a little bit, some security measures, because nowadays we do a lot of the enemy's criminals work for them. Meaning if it was 1955, 65, 75, 85, 95, they'd have to put a lot of work into surveilling a property, finding out a person's pattern of life, when they're home, when they're not, what kind of security they have, what kind of locks, how do I get in, all of these different things they'd have to do physically for the most part. And now they just have to follow you on social media channels. Right. They can your architectural digest video and note cameras or not, that sort of things. Approaches to the house, where is it? All those things you can find out now.
Dress as a FedEx worker or a UPS worker when they know you're not there, and go, and nobody would suspect them going up to the door pretending to drop off a package or something with a little COVID mask on, and be like, okay, I see where they got the camera. But somebody tell me a plausible reason why they would take this lady and just want to kill her, like just straight up like revenge. Like, did Savannah do something? She do a recent report that they just want to target this old lady, kill her. Not they didn't take nothing in the house. Just took this lady and took her out. That don't make sense.
Just by following someone on social media. So for people in the public eye, I think it just highlights the fact that it's wise probably not to put your kids out there if you have kids, your parents, that sort of thing. Anything that's going to let a criminal or the enemy really build that pattern of life and then target you, be a harder target than somebody else who's out there. So
that's great advice. Yeah, as you know, and you spent some time in Arizona too, but I spent many years in Tucson. I graduated from the University of Arizona. Just for the audience, I want to pull up a map here just in terms of what we're dealing with. You know, this neighborhood is in a part of North Tucson where the homes are spread out. They're surrounded by a lot of brush, trees, cactus. Tucson is a dark sky city, so there's practically no street lighting. So when you're out at nighttime, you can't really see anything without a flashlight, including if there's not a full moon. What you're looking at on your map here is, you know, Tucson is very close to Mexico. Nogales is 60 minutes away from the border, which of course is in Tucson, which is of course the border with Mexico. The Tohono O'odham National Reservation, where local law enforcement doesn't have jurisdiction, is also right there. And I think really interestingly, I-19 that goes to Nogales is there, but also you have I-10 that goes east and I-8 that goes west, and then you can hit I-10 to go all the way north. So this complicates things because Nancy was taken in the middle of the night and nobody really saw what happened. The cameras were taken. She could be in a different state, in a different country. Border Patrol is now involved. You know, a lot of these kidnappings usually happen and the people are very close by where they were taken from. But at this point, we still have no information about where she may be.
It's so sad. And also, I always think of things through the enemy's eyes. So what are other criminals learning from this? What are our enemies learning from this? What capabilities are they taking away from this? Like, what can the FBI do? What does local law enforcement do? Or can't they do now, more importantly, from the enemy's point of view? So it does highlight a lot of different security concerns that the enemy can then exploit going forward, getting around Ring doorbells, all that sort of a thing. But it also was something I thought about. I haven't heard too many people talk about this. It reminded me of the kidnapping of Charles Lindbergh's child back in 1932. They called it the crime of the century back then. It actually led to it made kidnapping a federal crime. And that child was less than 2 years old when he was taken. So it does remind me a bit of something like that. But once again, we don't know much about this, but
See, the minute the owner of the wallet uses the key, it will then be tracked. I thought they could just send it to multiple wallets, though. Right? Can't they just like send it, put it in, and send it from this wallet to that wallet? You got 20 wallets down the road, and then you switching from Bitcoin to Ethereum to this to that to US dollar to that back. It's so many. That's crazy to track back. No one else in the community have cameras. They checking. Let's pray just for our safety to return. Wonder if they're following up with any caregivers. I don't think she had caregivers from what it seemed like, but maybe she did have them like come every so often. It could be because of what she does. Yeah, she does. And I think that's part of maybe why why Savannah Guthrie don't seem so like crazy, emotional, because she see this shit like every day. She reports on it, and she reported on crimes worse than what's happening to her. So she probably like got that, like, you know, like first responders, like just remorse gone. Another theory is the Uber driver came back. Yeah, but they talked to the Uber driver. That'd be hard. Him come back without his phone or the night, or maybe he's asking her questions. No, they said they had a recording of the driver too, right? I think he had like a camera inside his cabin. So I don't know if he was asking her weird questions like, hey, how you doing? Like you live by yourself? Are you going? Yeah, I'm visiting, blah, blah, blah. I don't have a husband. I leave alone. That would be weird. But him coming back, they probably would find out where the Uber driver lives and then see if he left his house. And then if they don't, then you know it probably ain't him. This country is a joke. Or he told someone else to come back to her house. Yeah, I think when it comes to that, I think the son-in-law, would he have bandmates? And remember, the person who sent the Bitcoin thing that they arrested, he's also like a musician or a music lover in that same genre of music, which is weird. It's weird that the son-in-law don't have a social media presence, which is weird. I guess maybe he older, he just don't. That's weird too. And they're going to be aware of any money issues, anything happen. It's weird that also the child internet police, the police that job is to search for child predators on the internet, was also at their house. That's weird too. Like maybe they were looking up something and found something they wasn't supposed to. There's a bunch of weird stuff. But I think if they start fishing into anybody's family, 5, 6, 7 of your family members, they probably gonna start finding a lot of weird shit that ain't got nothing to do with the case. They're saying that Savannah wasn't a controversial reporter, but she has interviewed some of the first Jeffrey Epstein victims, and there's a lot of people who don't like that. Did she? They should tell them, say you tell us when and where we will have your money for the exchange of missing. But they ain't doing that. They want it online. Ain't nobody showing up. Nobody that has ever seen a Hollywood movie is showing up to an FBI sting. They put like the blue dye and the money in cash. They put like little tracers that you can't even see. The first time you go to a bank and spend that money is gonna be like traceable. The bank gonna put it in and then gonna be like, boop, 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 boop. Like the FBI got a tracker in that shit. They probably got a tracker die. They put a tracker in a bag. Like, you're going to have to switch out the bag that they put the money in. Like, nah, that's way too risky. Ain't nobody showing up nowhere. She interviewed people. Was she an attorney? Son-in-law has not been on the media. Yes, she used to be an attorney. Oh.
Right now, whether it's criminal intent or someone's being radicalized online, manipulated online, maybe by an algorithm, whatever it might be. We have the Charlie Kirk example, of course. Salman Rushdie, over 30 years after writing Satanic Verses, he was stabbed in the hand, liver, and face, lost an eye, almost died over 30 years after writing the Satanic Verses and having that fatwa put against him. So.
Yeah. Motivation could be anything, right? At this point, we don't know what it could be, but like you said, there's so many ways that people can find you and get to you, and as you just mentioned, hold a grudge for many, many years. It might not even be something recent. We're seeing, the authorities have been very limited in what they can tell us about these ransom notes. There was a deadline in one of them yesterday that passed, but another one was then given to a local TV station in Tucson today. There is obviously a timeline here. What does that do in terms of crunching law enforcement against whoever this may be, with the tactics they're using of this threat of timing and meeting whatever demands there are without giving real indication of what Nancy's condition is?
Right, and it's one of those. I think it's one of those things where you have to play two sides of this. You have to be ready to
see those little drops. Like, people like, oh, it could be her arm or something, but those are like little nosebleeds. Look, boop, they separate. It ain't like just a trail of blood. Those are little droplets. I don't know if that's coming from the arm or anywhere else on the body besides the nose. In those little round circular droplets.
To pay this thing in the chance that we might get her returned based on this demands, while at the same time you have tactical teams ready to go at a moment's notice if you get some sort of maybe electronic surveillance now or something, whatever it might be, some indication that someone is somewhere or has a connection to someone somewhere that can lead to those people that you're looking for. And
that means she came out the door. Look, that's far. She came out that door like a foot or two. They was asking, is there a way that they would have had a car on the side to the back door? Because they're saying maybe they took out the back door, which would be up there in the top right by that other building. I guess there could be a way, right? Like, they could just park a car there, go through the front. Where's her neighbor? Damn, that's crazy. Around it. It's just enough covering and shading to hide everything. And the next house is over there. That's probably why they cut off the floodlight. That house over there on the right, they didn't want them to see anything or see the car there probably.
That can lead to those people that you're looking for, and in particular, Nancy Guthrie right now. So both of those things are probably happening in parallel.
Let me see. Hold on. But there's no trail of the blood. Yeah, so it must have been like she stopped it. And they said it was blood inside the house and outside, and it was all hers. So the nosebleed to catch him off guard, or maybe they hit her, get up, and then she's like, oh, and bleeding for a second, but then they took her back in the house, which means one of them probably would have been covered in her blood too. She must have probably had it on her hand. Okay, this is all my theorizing, but I feel that the son-in-law, who was the only one who took Nancy Guthrie home when Nancy Guthrie wasn't at church, someone called Anna and Tomas and someone called them. Oh, I just assumed maybe they go to the same church. Because I read that they tried to call the grandma, they tried to call her, and 3 minutes later they called the police because she didn't answer. I wonder if it's a possibility that that woman never even made it inside the house. He just opened the garage and whatever, so it could be like the sensor can go off. Or what if he parked his car, did something to her, like pretended to leave and just came right back and bow, hit her, and then took her car and did something with her, took her somewhere. I think somebody else is involved with him. Like he used some friends or something to hold the lady or something. I'm feeling like the son-in-law and the daughter are the ones maybe you think she hurt her mother? Maybe they pretended to take her home, but she had the pacemaker, so she had to go get there. She had to be at home close enough to the phone and just disconnected. Boo, they would have had all that data. It's crazy. That's what I wanted. How does the mom get to the church? Because she had that Subaru there. I think that maybe she drives to places that's close in the daytime, but then because it's so dark at night, maybe she don't drive at night or drive far places. You know what I mean? Old people might run down the street 5 minutes, but anything more than that, they might call the grandkids. Someone called Ann and Tomas to check on Nancy. When they went, it took them over an hour to call 911. But I read after they did it, hold on. I'm gonna pull up the timeline. Let's listen to this guy. Hold on.
Parallel, I would guess.
Just real quickly, I want to get your response to BORTAC, which is the Special Forces unit of Border Patrol, being involved here. What are the stakes now if there's a Mexico situation where she's been taken to another country? What that entails internationally.
I got to train with those guys on the border in California back when I was in the SEAL teams, and I learned so much about tracking from those guys. So professional, and they do it each and every day when it comes to tracking human beings, which is like the same thing as hunting. A lot of similarities, but now you're hunting people on two legs. So they're so good at it, and it seems like all federal, state, local law enforcement has been brought to bear on this. So
much for your time tonight, and more importantly, your expertise and tips about how people can stay safe. Thank you. Your new book, The Fourth Option, comes out in May, and we definitely do not want to miss it because all the rest have been.
Oh, let's just see.
5 days into the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, the mother of NBC's Today host Savannah Guthrie, investigators have released a detailed timeline from the hours before and after her disappearance. Nancy Guthrie has dinner with her family and is dropped off at her home by a family member. At 1:47 a.m, Guthrie's doorbell camera is disconnected. At 2:12 a.m, despite detecting movement, the footage is not saved as she did not have a subscription.
So that might have been them coming back out at that time, right?
At 2:28 a.m, her pacemaker app disconnects from her phone. At 11:56 a.m, when she does not show up at her church, her family checks on her and then calls 911
at 12:03. They checked on this lady at 11:56. 7 minutes later, they called 911. And I think it was about 12:15.
12:03 p.m. to make a missing persons report. At 12:15 p.m, a search operation is launched, and the Pima County...
That's crazy fast to even be searching for her. It took them within 3 minutes, within 7 minutes, they called the police for the lady after she was missing, which is weird. They didn't show up to her house. They ain't a bunch of calls. They said, hey, something wrong. She ain't show up to church. More than several million in Bitcoin. No. See, that's why I do this. So there's been multiple. The Bitcoin thing that was the multiple billion is fake. The one that had the details, like, yeah, we broke her floodlight. We left her Apple Watch in this location. They were able to describe it. Remember, TMZ got sent 2 letters. One of them, they caught the guy already and said, oh, he said like he was an ex-LA County worker, city worker. I'm going to watch that shit again. Y'all want to watch it again? I will show you again the guy that sent the Bitcoin. It's $50,000 that they asking for, which is crazy. But you would think they're asking for millions too. But they're asking for $50,000, which is like, is that even enough to watch this old lady to go through that trouble? This story is sad as hell, though. I think the pacemaker will track any changes in the heart rate, so hopefully they can get some indication of when the altercation occur. They got that. They said it send 1 report to the doctor a day or something like that. So the people were saying, I didn't even think about it, that if she was hit and her heart rate spiked and she was like afraid for her damn life, which we assume you was in the middle of the night, somebody or some people, some persons coming in your home, that your heart rate, even the healthiest individual, boom, 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 boom. Well, I guess the pacemaker is set to like something, right? So maybe it don't. Maybe it's like depends on the flow. I don't know how the pacemaker work. But you think that it's recording something, some changes in her, like, what the hell is this? She's scared. Yeah, it's 50,000 they offered, the feds. It started at 2,500, now it's worked its way up to 50,000.
County Sheriff's Department announces her disappearance at 6:46 p.m. Authorities announced that they believe Guthrie was kidnapped, abducted or otherwise taken against her will. A news station says it receives an email that appears to be a ransom note with a demand for money and a deadline set for 5 p.m. on Thursday. A person familiar with the investigation tells the Associated Press that investigators found signs of forced entry at Guthrie's home. Investigators returned to Guthrie's property for a follow-up investigation. Savannah Guthrie posts a video on social media where she says the family is ready to talk, but wants proof that their mother is alive.
We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive.
Investigators revealed that a DNA test of blood found on Guthrie's home's front porch showed it came from her. The FBI offers a $50,000 reward for information about Guthrie's whereabouts. Guthrie's family post a video on social media repeating their call for those responsible for their mother's disappearance to reach out to them.
We could speculate what it was. Remember, the FBI is not confirming there's a monetary amount. They're not confirming the amount. Any speculation about the amount that they asked for is just hearsay. The FBI and the police are not saying, oh, they asked for this 1.2 million in Bitcoin. They said they asked for Bitcoin. They sent the wallet. Even TMZ said that. Let me see. Like let me see. The reward that was offered was 50,000. My mom has a pacemaker that's tracked. Any changes are automatically sent to the doctor. This is going on too long. I agree. It's going on too long for them to kill her or not. Like, they passed the deadline, so now what? And Trump knows something. What did she said? It had lines from Silence of the Lamb. It was a video where they went down the timeline. Look at that timeline. Oh, I'm gonna show y'all this. Hold on. What's that dude name? So y'all can see the guy that sent that fake note. Pablo. What's that dude name that we watch? Was it Jumpsuit Pablo? Yeah. Does anyone know if she might be on any dating sites? Just wondering. Oh, that's weird. 84-year-old. Well, I guess everybody needs something. Videos. Where was it? This guy.
Guys, I'm back already with another crazy update. Now, we know there was an arrest made due to the ransom note that was a hoax and a fraud. Someone just trying to capitalize on this.
Listen to what he's saying and how this guy that sent that original Bitcoin message that got arrested and Tomas, the son-in-law, is connected. She looked like she would go along with some ransom. They need some money or they don't need some. They just bought this big ass house worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know. I'm sure no money moved from the mom's account though, because no way they gonna take that chance. But listen. I'm gonna get something to drink. Listen though.
Horrific moment and take advantage of this family, right? So who is this person that was arrested for this fake ransom note earlier today? His name is Derek Kalela. And there's some pretty, this stuff just gets deeper and deeper. Here's a photo of him. This is a still shot that I took from one of his YouTube videos. Yes, I found his YouTube channel. He is 42 years old. This is back from 2017. He only has 2 videos posted on his YouTube channel. Both videos are him. Both videos are him playing his metal hardcore rock music. Okay. So what? Big whoop, who cares? Also, very interesting decoration you got there. That's just a little creepy and unsettling. But anyways, some blow up doll sitting on your chest of drawers or shelf, whatever that is. But here's the kicker. He tells police that, oh, it was just a joke. I was just texting. He texted the son-in-law, which is also the brother-in-law of Savannah Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie's daughter, the popular talk show host for the Today Show. He texted him, the son-in-law, the brother-in-law, Tommaso Cioni, and his wife, who is the actual sister of Savannah, Annie. He says, this is just a big misunderstanding. I heard about this on the news and I didn't really mean it. I didn't really take it that serious. I was just sending that text to them to see if they'd respond and what they'd say. Maybe, in my opinion, just my theory I'm adding into the facts here, because around this time, kind of all eyes were on Tommaso Cioni as a suspect, and maybe they still are and could be. We don't know. This is where it gets crazy. He says, I just sent that text to them to see what they would say. Now let's run with that, okay?
And this is why people think they want, I'm sure they probably asked for a crazy amount of money, but the FBI is the one, I say the $50,000 because we don't know what they asked for. We just know they asked for something. And you got to assume they wouldn't ask for like the FBI can't give a reward more than what they're asking for, right? They can't be like, we're going to give a $100,000 reward, and they only ask for $60,000. They'll be like, what the fuck? Like, you trying to catch us with more money than we asking for? But anyway, he sent it and said he was just playing. Who do you know going to play like that with a serious crime, like a kidnapping and a ransom of an old lady? It wasn't a crazy teenager. It was a grown-ass man that worked for LA County. The police need to speak to the truth. Yeah, they just I feel like they gave us all the detail. We would have put this motherfucker together. Like, the internet's undefeated. We would have found him. She might have expired on her own. That's what I think. Like, they went in there and it was like, oh, we hit this old lady and she in a pacemaker. She just woke up in the middle of the night. Who knows? Bow. And then like, oh, I didn't tell you to hit her. I told you. It could have been the bandmates or somebody helping him, and he probably wasn't there. He just gave them the access to the house and the layout, pictures or whatever. Take a look. There's a camera there. Destroy this. Take it out back. Simple. Hit and run. Gone in 60 seconds. They have to move in on someone soon to help find out about Nancy. And that's what I think the President Trump know. You are right. She is involved in the kidnapping with her husband, Tomas. That is new to me. Crazy. Yeah. Let's go. Let's finish, though.
I don't care why you did it. It's awful. And don't do that. You don't play around. Don't do that. And you deserve some punishment. But let's run with that theory. Okay, yeah, that is why you did it. Okay. How do you even have their cell phone numbers, buddy? How do you have these two people's cell phone numbers?
He sent that demand to the son-in-law. Out of all the people you can send it to, you got the son-in-law's phone number?
And then I just can't help but notice, as I made in my first video, this is my third video I've made now. I made a video last night deep diving into Tommaso Sione's history of a passion he pursued, which is he was very, very much into this band he was a part of called Life, Love, Love, Murder, something like that. And it's a heavy metal, rock, hardcore.
The son-in-law is part of a band called Life, Love, Love, Murder. And you're going to see how that connect to the other guy who sent that Bitcoin.
The electric guitar, yelling in the microphone. Genre of music. And a lot of the lyrics are
small genre,
dark.
Right? Not small, but
that's not surprising for that genre. I'm not trying to like get super conspiracy here, but not surprising, but it is odd. It is kind of a little strange considering what's happened. This man's only online presence on the internet, this fake ransom note guy, Derek Kalila, has a YouTube channel right here, and his only 2 videos are of him performing the same genre of music.
You
and
kidding
then you
me?
factor that in with how did he have these people? How did he have Tommaso's cell phone number to text this to him? It's getting weird. It's getting weird, folks. Anyways, he has been arrested and booked. We don't know what's going to happen.
That ain't weird. If you Tomas and you got nothing to do with this, you looking at this shit that happened and say, God damn, the devil trying to take me out. The devil won't he do it? He trying to take me out. He trying to ruin my family, my wife, my sister-in-laws, everybody. He trying to ruin my whole family because this is all odd.
Yeah, they don't even have his mugshot up at this time, but I was able to track down this image of him. There are some other images going around. Shout out to JLR Investigates, the YouTube channel. He's probably live right now. He's always live, always investigating. He does great work. And I also saw him talking, not exactly about this, but talking a bit about this guy. So check him out as well if you want some more details on this fake ransom note guy. It's just so strange, but we're still waiting to see what's happening. Obviously, we are approaching, if we're considering the time zones, we are fast approaching the 5 p.m. deadline.
We passed it now. The FBI gonna have to come out and have another something gonna have to happen by tomorrow. I feel like it's gonna be a news conference, a press conference, something
official. Dig up on you, Mr. Derek rock metal hardcore music. And the only thing I can dig up on you, Mr. Derek Halala, is that you also make this exact same kind of music.
And we ain't talking about R&B. We ain't talking about, they 2 hip-hop artists like there's a dime a dozen. That emo, that, I am Satan, praise the devil, kill. Like, that's a very niche genre of music compared to all the rest of them.
It's just, something's just odd.
So I introduced myself and told them why I was here. And that
you got it from somewhere, unless, like I said, They taking too long. You got people in the house waiting for him like, yo, we need the money. Why y'all ain't sent it yet? You told us kidnapped this old bro. It was going to be easy. She was going to be gone in 4 days. Why she still here? And then they try to go off to the side like, okay, maybe we go directly. Maybe we make it more public and send it to TMZ and a local news station and say we serious. That something going to happen. Let me see. What is it? JLR investigates. That's what he said. Geez, I ain't watching that whole thing, but we're going to skim through it. Does he make videos? Savannah Guthrie. 4 days ago. This is live. Oh, it's down here. This is the only one. Ransom note. Oh, wait. This is him right here. Let's see what he said most recently.
Come on in. Come on in. This whole segment in traveling en route.
Look at the people asking the same question. Why did why did Nancy take an Uber to her daughter's house? I would think someone from her family would pick her up. Great question. I think maybe they got like Uber Black and stuff. Like they got some fancy Uber. They're not thinking like, and they think if they send the Uber, then they could see. It's just like a chauffeur, right? If they say, she said, oh, my mom had a private chauffeur that drove her to and fro. We wouldn't think of that. That's what people think of an Uber. Like it's a private escort. Like, you know, young people be on social media now on dating apps. Like, yo, I'm gonna send an Uber for you to get you. Like, blah, blah, blah. It's like he sent the Uber Black. He liked me. Like it could have been anything. Like it could have been a normal thing.
We got some important things we're going to talk about. Hopefully people see this. Hopefully people jump in. Hopefully we're going to try to figure out what is up and what's going on. We're going to try to figure out and try to do our best to bring public awareness. We're going to do stuff that other people don't do.
He on the ground in Tucson?
Hopefully.
Maybe I should go out to Tucson.
Yes, I discussed earlier today about going out to
Go live.
Arizona, and we booked it in the morning time. So we'll be arriving in Tucson, Arizona sometime, I would say, in this evening. But there's a lot of work to do because Nancy Guthrie has still not been found. And we're almost approaching literally a week. Almost approaching a week now. Since this terrible tragedy happened. Kimmy, what?
Yeah, we watched that. Her Subaru was taken out of the garage.
1 second, folks. I'm trying to put this up here, and then we can get started because I got a notepad.
So the Subaru was already in the garage. It wasn't hers. That's not her sister car. But they did take her sister car because it was the last one she was in. They analyzed it. They said. So she had her own car. Maybe she was used to drive, and just like I said, she ain't drive that much. I think it's normal for an older person. They still got a car. Like even if she ain't drive no more at 84, when she was 75, I'm sure she drove right.
Hopefully the light is okay here. It's a little dim here and there. Look.
Welcome to Tucson. Yeah, I'm at to meet up with him. Oh, he on his way.
They say her pacemaker, didn't sync, ended up not being synced around 2 a.m. in the morning, right? Apple Watch, right? Some people suggest, why don't the authorities grab the Apple Watch and just go to different locations and see
if it connects?
If it eventually syncs to her pacemaker, if that makes sense. Can you do that? Could you take the Apple Watch and the device that it was syncing to and take that around to different locations that maybe they feel, I don't know what type of radio.
I didn't think about that. That's how people that's why you're supposed to put a password on your home Wi-Fi. There's people that would drive around with big antennas searching for people that put up their Wi-Fi. And you don't got to have a password to your Wi-Fi. And that will search for open home connections and stop and get into everything you got because you didn't secure your Wi-Fi. They literally drive around waiting for, oh, we got this. You know, like McDonald's Wi-Fi and everything. Yeah, you go there, you can just join. Some of you don't even got your Wi-Fi passcoded and just waiting for that to happen. Since Mrs. Nancy has mobility issues, why was she just dropped off to walk in the house? No, she wasn't. She went through the garage. She took a Uber to her daughter's house, and then the son-in-law, Tomas, drove her back. She went through the garage. They got the time the garage opened up. She went in there, and she can't walk more than 50 yards. So you probably think she got out, helped her walk. Okay, bye, Mom. See you later. Thanks for coming by. We loved you. See you next week, or see you tomorrow at church or whatever. So she took an Uber there. She didn't take an Uber back, if that makes sense.
Yes, the sink might be within a couple feet, but that could be a needle in the haystack. But some locations, and take that and go and see.
It is a good idea.
Find some sort of connection. What do you think?
Or if they know like the signal, the Bluetooth signal, it got to be the Apple Watch. Well, I guess it had to have permission probably. Or maybe they call a company like, yo, we're trying to connect to this. How can we do it without his permission? Like, it's so many things they can do to jailbreak or forcefully enter something. I'm sure that pacemaker ain't got that much security, and they ain't expecting somebody to try to hack that motherfucker. That's a good idea. Yeah, that's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. That's exactly what they're doing, though. That's like trying to find a needle in a haystack with a magnet. You just got to get close enough that you feel a little, whoa, hold on. It's trying to connect. Wait, something happening. It got one bar. Well, I don't know how it works. We just assuming. We don't know how it's connecting through Bluetooth. Just throw the Apple Watch anywhere to see if anything hits on it. I guess you'd be driving to, but if they got a radius or somewhere they suspect, we don't know how it works. Come on, man. You killing our thoughts, Mona Lowry. That's if she's still alive, yeah. But I've read that it don't cut off by itself. It still sends a signal. Somebody got to turn it off. She could be 500 miles away, but if you taking an 84-year-old woman that probably got to piss, like they would have the thought, you wearing these Depends on this ride, you're gonna shit, sleep in this. We ain't getting out at no gas stations, no nothing. Facial recognition, anything, somebody gonna notice her. All you people in different states at different time, if you see an old lady that even resembles Nancy, you're gonna be like, if I walked out of the gas station, I seen an old lady in the car, like in the back seat, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do, you ain't Nancy. I just want to make sure you ain't Nancy, man. I'm sorry. Hey, good on you. Everybody looking for her.
Another question. Have any prescription refills have been picked up at her pharmacy? And that would be, before she vanished. Like, so this could be a preparation per se. So the question is, has any prescription refills?
No, the sheriff said during the press conference that they were trying to see if any like Walgreens or pharmacies been raided. That'd be stupid as hell for them to pick up her prescription. Like, you're going to get caught picking up her prescription for her, and then you got to show ID and stuff probably. Like, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
Been picked up at her pharmacy prior to her going. Vanished. And if so, by who?
Thanks for the super chat too, Angie.
If so, by who? Is there any material evidence that Miss G arrived at her daughter's house on Saturday? And that's a great question. Do the authorities have 100% proof that she took the Uber? But did she really go into that house on Annie's, her daughter's house and Tommaso's house? And other people say, well, why did she get a ride back to the house, go in the garage, and the garage door closed 2 minutes later? Did someone else go in with her and stay there at the house?
It closed 2 minutes later? Yo, you watch these videos, and it's like a little bit of information more, and you got to take it with a grain of salt. Because the FBI is like, nah, we ain't confirming nothing.
With Tommaso when he took her back to the house. These are questions that are being presented to me. Is there any evidence, phone record of the parishioner from her church contacting the family on Sunday? And that's a great question too, because we don't know what church it was. If anyone knows what church it is, we're going to find out. We're going to find out.
That's because I didn't hear it to the person up here said it about the parishioner calling. I guess I assumed that they all went to church together and they didn't show up, and she didn't show up. Somebody called them. It was that suspicious that lady didn't show up for church. Sister Nancy, that they called, like, it wasn't an hour. It wasn't, hey, I'm like, it's been 3 hours. She ain't show up. Like, or did they try to call? She must have been real known at that church for them to they think it was suspicious. It's suspicious that they didn't call their mother to make sure she up. Like, all her concerns. I'm calling you every day. Like, we all need to call our parents more anyway. But they got all these concerns. The pacemaker, this, and she can't walk 50. I'm calling you every day, man. We FaceTiming. Matter of fact, I'm having shit. This is a rich lady. I'm having stuff set up. Your refrigerator got the refrigerator with the face that I could FaceTime you. We gonna have this. I'm gonna just be, Mom, where you at? I'm on a security system, just making sure you good. All right. This lady was too isolated. Yeah, I think if it was the son-in-law, then he would have been preparing for this. So he had access to her medication. She could be in the kitchen. I'm using the bathroom or whatever. Go in there. It ain't like she can get up fast enough to see what you're doing. Go in there, take a few pills. Boom. She ain't gonna know what they're missing. You think, okay, she need one of these a day. She got 100 of them at a time that last her, whatever. You take 10 of them. Okay, we ain't gonna have this motherfucker for more than 10 days. Like, they should pay the ransom within 4 days. Let me take 10 of them. Or let me take 14 of them out of 100. She ain't gonna need them. She ain't gonna even get down to the little last bit because we about to take her ass.
What church it is. We're gonna find out things.
They have said what church. You know which one, Mo? She watched church virally. If she watched on the thing, they just like, were they looking at the Zoom and like, wait, where's Sister Nancy at? She ain't in the Zoom today. Jay out here, you don't need to sign for it. You can pick up the meds. Just confirm her info. Oh, that is, huh? She had like a CVS or something, Walgreens. You say the birthday, but that'd be stupid for them to pull up into somewhere and they have all the footage. To go through all this, you ain't pulling up nowhere in public. Like, they don't want no hair color. They don't want them to see their hands on the steering wheel. No way you pulling up to a pharmacy. No, I don't think so. With how smart they have been. I saw on another live with Clutch Them Pearls that she hasn't been to church since the pandemic 2020, but did attend. Well, that makes sense if she were online because she can barely fucking walk, right? But they never said it. I never heard them say it. Just that the family was alerted. They called her at 11:56. She didn't answer, so by 12:03, they called the police. So maybe that's why they didn't call. Maybe that was just one call, like, okay, we just got a bunch of calls from the people that she's not there. Or maybe she was supposed to speak or be live and say hello to everybody, and she didn't. Hey, we called her 12 times. She ain't answered. Yo, I think you need to call an ambulance or something. Check on your mama. And then they called one time, or twice, maybe twice in that time. Okay, she ain't answered. Let's call it. We worried now. It wouldn't be suspicious if a family member was to pick up the script. Yeah, but that family member that picked up the script after she's been gone is you caught. Before, that's what I said. Maybe the son-in-law. So it seems like the sister Annie and Tommaso was the closest people out here to her. Savannah's in New York. The brother, whatever, doing what he doing. So it's them. So that's the one mom called when something's bad. He might have been the one that's going to check on her over and over again, or pick up. Hey, mom, would you need anything? Yeah, you need to pick up the prescription, right? Okay, I'll be over Thursday. Be ready. I'll be there by 7. Whatever. They probably knew her medicine was there at the house. I think they took her medicine. No, they didn't take it, I don't think. They said that she had medicine that she need daily, but we don't know. The FBI just been giving us to run around that we don't know if they took a little pill. Nobody asked how many pills were in the medicine bottle, like whether 100. Could they have took enough for her to survive? That's the question they need to ask. So was the medicine bottle the medicine that she needed still at the house? If they say yes, then okay, is it a possibility that they took enough for her to survive? Like if it was 1 pill a day, could they have possibly, we don't know the quantity. If it was 30 pills, can there be 23 left in there? Is it possible that they took enough for a week or whatever? We don't know. But see, fingerprints on the pill bottles, if the brother, it wouldn't be weird.
We're going to find out things. Guaranteed. We're going to find out things. So what are the questions? Share the questions. That's provoke thought. Well, medications are HIPAA protected, but people talk. Technically, yeah, your medical records are, but there's ways you can obtain things, right? Sleuthing, right? You can obtain things. But I have no doubt that authorities are doing everything behind the scenes. I haven't seen no action today. So, what should we be asking? What should we be looking? Should there be cameras set up at key locations to monitor what in the world is going on? Will there be any additional grid searches? I think at this stage, the quietness could be the calm before the storm. I hope by the time I get there that whoever did this is held accountable, arrested, and or Nancy found, hopefully alive. I hope by the time I get there, but then it goes into who did this, why.
I think the question at this point is whether she's alive or gone. There's no way in my mind that they don't find who did this. Somebody already convicted for a hoax ransom. Never seen that before. Yeah. They found him. He said, I'm just texting to see if I could get something, you know what I mean? And then they already got him, bow. Like, that's weird. It is weird. I think the local sheriff blew it by making mistakes early on and calling the FBI and turned it over to them too late. FBI had a lot of ground to make up. Yep. Dude, the garage door was BS. They did something on the way in, left her, came back, 147, cleaned up the mess and took her out. Ooh, the way in and closed, took her out. Yeah, but that wouldn't make sense on why the blood is at the door. Somehow she came to that door and there was blood, like nosebleed blood at that front door. And if they did do all that, then everything else is just to make us look the other way. Did they put some blood on the floor and then smash the cameras and go in the back and destroy the floodlight just to and send a ransom just so we look the other way? Is it a coincidence that this kidnapping happened at the same time our economy goes to shh? This is the first time I've seen crime scene tape go up and down 3 times. They need to put it up and leave it up. Protect the scene. Now that the FBI is in charge, leading the investigation, this is going to move faster. The sheriff was out of his league, way out. But he handled the Gabby Gifford stuff, but that was live on TV. It wasn't, we know who did that. He said that. He said I made mistakes, but that's Monday morning quarterbacking, he said. So
Judicial proceedings, arrests, court hearings, and everything like that.
Nah, I don't think she in the trunk of her car. They took her car. They would have announced that shit. Like, those reporters would have seen that, her being in the trunk of that car.
Will the Guthrie family release a video tonight? And I will be out there tonight. I'll be out there.
But she went through the garage. So how does blood end up at the front door? I mean, it's good. I'm just thinking of logistically, how did that work? Because no way that the garage is on the side. It's closer than the door. So no way if you do all that in the garage, the only reason why you would go to the front door and make that happen is if you just trying to cover for something, putting her blood there, which I don't know how you would, I guess you get her blood. She did. I mean, look, that's a lot. That's a lot. No, I don't think they did all that, but this all is a lot.
Be out there tonight. Demands that pique the investigators. One, the floodlights, and two, the Apple pacemaker. Now, I just feel like a demand letter or a demand note. Why in the heck? Somebody contributed and I didn't see.
That's a good question. Why was the child protection people at his house? That's what I'm saying. If they could have been looking for something else and checking his stuff and then found some side, he's a teacher too, right? I think it's found some side child porn. Like, okay, we got to take care of this. This is a whole separate situation, but we focus on this lady, but there's some people that would like to talk to you. Olivia Benson, please come here. There's some people that want to talk to you, Tomas. If you think that maybe the mother-in-law was going to rat him out and do this, or rat them both out, so then they came up with a plan to do something. I don't know.
I apologize. Somebody else contributed. I saw another comment. If I missed you, I'm with the media putting it out there. Of all the things, you're going to say something that's on the outside, a floodlight, and a pacemaker syncing to an Apple Watch. You're going to say those two things. Why don't you say a color of her vase inside her house? Why don't you say a specific something inside her house, like a room or some sort of artwork or something, or the layout of her inside of the house that someone doesn't know, that hasn't put out there. Maybe they did. We just don't know. Maybe they did. They say she didn't attend church in person, Tiffany Winchell says. But Tiffany, here's the thing about that is, if it was online, and I saw it was like, could be possibly online, you're going to call, because someone didn't attend online services, you're going to call Tommaso and you're going to call Annie and say, where is she? Hey, Smiley, nice to see you.
Well, if you know that this lady attends church religiously, she's like the church mother, maybe her daughter and them gave money to the church, she don't miss a beat. You all know people that, like, they don't miss a beat. It's something weird. One thing go wrong could set somebody off, like, wait, hold on. And somebody else might be like, yo, nah, wait, it ain't been that long. No. I know this motherfucker like the back of my hand. There's no way, and when she don't show, she tell us. Or maybe she was in charge of something. Maybe she was on the choir and was like, we know she's sick. We know she have these concerns, a pacemaker. She don't show, we gonna go. Like, that could easily be explained.
Smiley, nice to see you. Yeah, we're going to try to figure this out and just do what we do, right? I don't know what we're going to uncover. I don't know the way. You should check here, you know? People give me anonymous tips all the time. You'd be surprised. And it's just like the mainstream media too. These reporters get anonymous tips. Yes, we'll be watching. Thank you. 50 Shades of Blue. Thank you. Thank you.
They send in a new note, Dawn. That's the most recent. They send in an updated note, ransom note. Because they passed today's deadline, so they send in today's deadline. They passed the deadline of Thursday, the first deadline. So I guess they send in additional stuff, but we don't know what it say. The FBI ain't telling us. I feel like a criminal because the FBI won't share nothing with us. But
a lot of comments coming through. I don't know how to slow chat online like this right now. Boots on the ground.
I imagine it was something like Thursday. You missed the ransom. We gonna send her finger to you. Monday.
So be there this evening. I don't think anything's gonna drop. Let's hope that she's found though. And then we got a lot of work to do. This mission is not a sightseeing. This is not for fun and games. Oh, honey.
Why? I mean, she covered the Olympics. I don't think they care about her covering the Olympics as much. J.D. Vance was there. They was booing the shit out of America. I don't think they care about that. Yeah, I know the feeling too well. Hope I find out what's going on before too long, and hopefully she's not dead. Hopefully. My understanding, Savannah was that's right there. Scare tactic, yeah. Scare tactic, red herring. I'm tired right now. She had a pacemaker. I'm retired right now. She had a pacemaker, which also means she was on blood thinners. Yeah, we went over that before, which why they bleed. And people were saying, you know, as you get older, you're on blood thinner and stuff, your skin become more fragile. There's people that just bump into stuff, bump into the refrigerator, hit the cabinet, boom, they bleeding. especially in a place like Arizona, Tucson, Phoenix, where the sun is just beaming on these, older folks throughout the day. That can't be good. The church the church thing, who else was not in church? Check who else was not there. Then you got the church. If they knew she was living alone and knew that, like, if she didn't show up to call, who else knew that? Where the maid and the groundskeeper person cleaned the pool. She didn't clean that beautiful big pool at age 67. I think she was 64. Where those peeps? The family requested proof of life. Hopefully they proved it. I don't think so. Welcome, Nicolette. First time here. Like, share, subscribe. We all just throwing in our thoughts. They cut the pacemaker out 10-1. Yeah. 2 minutes to the garage door up and down. That dog won't hunt. That's weird. That's weird. How do they track? Like, do they call the garage company? How the hell do they? So she got one of those boop, boop, boop. And then that's tracking, but they ain't got a subscription. They ain't got a $10 a month subscription to the damn Ring, the Nest doorbell. Came from, was that Aho? I'm in Buckeye right now. Welcome. The last name Guthrie comes from a royal Scottish clan that were landowners. Yes, the family requested proof of life, but that was a few days ago, and still the kidnapper has done nothing. I think the ransom part is a hoax, unfortunately. Yeah, you think they would have sent out a finger or something. Where's the civilian camera? That is one thing to have to check. They were suspected of stopping at a. People said a suspicious car went to Circle K. So the Circle K said that they've turned over basically everything and cooperating with the FBI. So if they did, I don't see them going through all that and then stopping at the Circle K that's 6 minutes away to go get a soda or regroup. Like, you go all this way to avoid cameras and you know there's going to be a big thing. You stop at the nearest gas station, not go 20 miles, 100 miles down the road. You stop at the nearest gas station, right? I don't know about that. They didn't have an alarm. You would think an alarm would go off. They didn't have an alarm. They didn't. The camera re-recorded over itself because they didn't have a subscription. They stopped paying the subscription, so there was no security system. What Mike say? Yes, the family request. Oh yeah. Tucson has a great police force. Well, it's the sheriff, not even local Tucson PD. You have to check the family out of all of them. Uber? I got to get soda. Go get one. Come back, Teddy. Or Ray. Trey. Ted. I feel like your name is together. I thought the first ransom note was last Monday, so there has been 2 or 3 ransom notes. Yeah, there's been 3, I believe. And 2 of them was sent to TMZ. Right, one of them they just like said like, this shit is so obnoxious, no way. And then the one that they believe is the one that like had the details, the floodlight in the back, we broke it. We left her Apple Watch in this location. The FBI said, okay, this motherfucker knew what shit was inside her house. So like, we got to check this out. And the other one was the one we just watched the video about the guy who was a rock band heavy metal music maker, which is the son-in-law is also a heavy metal music maker. And they both have no social media, but which is weird on itself. It's weird for one person not to have social media footprint. But 2 people, and then those same 2 people, the only footprint is that they make music in the same heavy metal genre. Get the fuck out of here. Even if they had and that guy that sent that Bitcoin, we want the Bitcoin and stuff, he sent it to the son, to the son-in-law, Tomas. So he had to give it, hey, look, FBI, look what I got. Oh my God, somebody just contacted me. Like, why you? Not your sister, not the brother, Savannah. You? The fuck? I think at the very least, maybe if he got multiple people doing this, they tried to go around him. they tried to go around him and get some money or something, or like, hey, they looking at me real hard, like they think that it's me, so like we need to throw it off the track, like put out another note or something, or send it to TMZ, get it off of me. So while I'm here, I'm like, look, it wasn't me. I'm here. I couldn't have sent it to TMZ and asked for all that and put the Bitcoin. I'm right here, guys. And then they probably got somebody else that they knew, maybe a fan or maybe somebody that they know. Hey, you want to get in on this? If my mom is 80 years old, she shall not be in the house by herself. That is, yeah, with a pacemaker. Check the will. Someone said something about a white van. I didn't hear anything. The border has camera, yeah, and facial recognition, like somebody said before. So when they passing these deadlines and nothing happened, they gonna like that take away the power. Like, okay, listen, we gave you 2 deadlines before, but now we're gonna give you another chance because we know it's hard to get the money we asked for. That's weird. They ain't send nothing. They ain't send no hair back. They ain't send. It was a professional job. She was probably taken to a house nearby with a tunnel to Mexico. Yo, if Trump solved this case and it turns out it was the cartel or somebody from Mexico, that is the best thing that could happen for ICE. I'm just saying, thinking completely